everybody. Welcome to episode 13 of Life in Racer's Lane podcast. Today we have on the one and only Mr. Wagner, who is one of our accounting teachers. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. Yourself?
I'm doing great. Did you have a class before this or no?
I did not. I came in just for this.
Really?
So y'all are pretty special.
I'm so honored, and especially. Anyway, so we're gonna get into a little bit about what accounting is. What kind of are the majors? I know we have, 4 degrees?
Mm-hmm.
Four different degrees?
Four different ones that we can choose from. And you can kind of go in one. And if throughout your career you're like, I kind of want to change it, but still stay in accounting, we can work with you. And
you said you're one of the 3 professors, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's another good thing. We have 3 different professors. So, if you don't like the way I teach, you're going to have Fuller or Priest at some other point. You may have some adjuncts too. So, we all teach a little bit differently. So that's kind of perfect.
But yeah, as you said, like, if you don't like one professor or something is confusing, then you can go to other professors, right?
Yeah. I mean, you experienced it, right?
I did experience it.
We don't have to name names, but some professors are busy, or just the way somebody explains something can be very confusing. And I can say the exact same thing, or a Priest or Fuller can say the exact same thing conceptual wise, but they'll use different words and all of a sudden something will click. Right. And I tell students that for any class, don't just take your professor's word as gold. Like, get online. There's tons of stuff on there. Listen to somebody else explain it, and then it might actually click.
Right. Yeah. So we'll start off the podcast by just talking about a little bit about you, how you got into accounting. So the first question that I have for you is, what originally got you interested into accounting?
Surprisingly, I was never interested
in
accounting.
Really?
So, okay. Accounting students, if you're watching, don't hate me for that. But I got into accounting because I was good at it.
Okay.
I had an accounting professor in college or in high school, and he was our former basketball coach. So if y'all have been to basketball games and seen Coach Rich, that was kind of old school style. So he taught us like he was down 20 points at halftime. So he'd have like a spit wad right at the end of his mouth, and everyone was waiting for it to hit them, and it scared the crap out of me. But because he was scared of me and he held us accountable, like he would ask a question. If we didn't answer it and nobody answered it, he's like, all right, get out a piece of paper and a pencil. We're having a quiz. So I had to know it. And I'm like, well, I'm pretty good at it. And I don't know what else I want to do with my life. I never had like that dream of what do you want to be? I don't know. I just want to be happy. And I am. So it worked out.
Yeah. If it works out, if you're good at it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It was one of the things that we talked about in one of the past episodes with Mr. Robert Riley, where it was saying find something that, like, one of the windows that we talked about was like finding something you're good at, but you're also passionate about. So would you say you have sort of a passion for accounting, or are you just good at it?
I think I was just good at it.
Yeah.
I didn't have a big passion for it. I did love, the end of month stuff, like where you're putting all the financials together. And you get to see like, oh, everyone's kind of relying on this. And when it does actually balance and everything works out, it's very satisfying. Now I think this is kind of that zone is where I'm passionate about it. I love people, and I'm good at accounting, and I'm good at teaching. Like, this is my happy place. This is the dream job that I didn't even know that I wanted until I actually got it. And I'm like, this is it. Like, I'm never leaving this place.
That's cool.
Oh, yeah.
That's great, man. And with the next question is, what was your first job in the field? So when you first started getting into accounting, did you have a first position?
I had a couple of like little jobs I did in our accounting class for businesses around here in Lima. But the first job took me forever. It took me like 6 months to find. So I tell students, like, just grind it out. And I was actually just talking to one of the students before I popped in here. Said, man, you're a senior. It's all going to hit like right at once. Like, you might go through this dry spell, but all of a sudden you're going to have like 4 options on your plate. And that's exactly how it was. So I ended up actually moving out to Oklahoma City. I was there for a little bit doing budgeting and financial reporting for a really big church out there. And I still rely on that experience. Like, that was amazing. I was glad to move away and get out of my norm. Like, I thought, I'm going to work in Northwest Ohio and I'm going to stay here forever.
Right.
This is my comfort zone. I'm happy. I'm like, all right, I can't find a job. Let's move halfway across the country. Didn't know anybody. But you run into people. Like, it's a small world. I'm sure you recognize that everywhere you go. Like, I had a coworker from Elida. I was in a grocery store. I think I had like an O&U shirt or something on. And somebody stopped me and they're like, O&U? Oh, I went there. I'm like, awesome. Okay, cool. Like, what are the chances of that?
Right.
So it was pretty cool, and it was good to meet new people. I still kind of stay in contact with them through social media and stuff.
Well, and you said you love being with the students, right? And you love teaching them, and you're never going to leave this place, right?
Oh, no way.
So what has been the most rewarding part about all of that? Like all the years that you've been here doing this, what has been the most rewarding, like, I'm happy I'm here kind of moment?
Yeah, I feel like it's always, the cliche is it's the students and it's the faculty and staff. But I think a little deeper, it's developing those relationships with those students, especially students that I don't even have. That's the really cool part. I had I think it was one of Gunder's students called me, sent me an email, and then ended up calling me. I'm like, man, I never had him in class ever. I just talked to him between classes and talked to him a lot, and we kind of formed this relationship. And I thought, oh, he's gonna try to sell me something. Like it's that old friend from high school that gets a hold of you.
Right.
Like, hey, what have you been up to? Nothing. Hey, you want to buy some supplements? Like,
Right.
that's what
Right.
I was waiting for. No, I just wanted to chat and like tell me what he was doing and what he was working on in Florida and stuff. So yeah, it was really cool. That's honestly what it's about. It's the relationships. My wife and I, we host the men's basketball team for Christmas dinner the last few years since Rich has been here. That's really kind of kickstart some of those relationships as well. Like it's not just about teaching. I don't care if I've never had you as a student. I'm here and you're here for a reason, so I'm going to help you in any way that I can.
Yeah, and you helped me a lot as well. Like I came to you if I was like, hey, there's just this one thing I'm not getting. Can you dumb it down to like a first grade level for me? 'Cause I think when it comes to accounting, like especially as a start, at least for me, it was like there's a lot of words. I don't know what they mean. So
Dude, that's true. It's almost like a foreign language.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What debits and credits, and why do we have this rule and this law?
Accounts receivable, accounts.
Yeah.
What was the other one? Accounts receivable, payable.
There it is. See?
I got it. Locked
You
in.
got it.
I passed the class. I did pass. Okay.
That's good. If not, you can take it with me.
Right. Yeah. So in a little bit, we'll go into more of what accounting actually is and things like that. But before we do that, we have a pit stop.
All right.
Have you ever heard of what our pit stops are?
Yeah, I've been watching.
You have. Okay. So then the first one is would you rather questions. All right. So got this little handy dandy toolbox right here.
That's great.
Da-da-da-da. And then I can ask you one, and then you can ask me one.
Perfect.
And then we will continue. Would you rather have your phone autocorrect every word wrong, or never autocorrect at all?
Never autocorrect.
I feel like it's an easy answer.
That's the most like frustrating thing.
Yes.
And it's the dumbest words. Like I was typing Oreo just to put on my grocery list, and it was correcting it to something else. I'm like,
right.
How does my phone not know what an Oreo is?
I don't know. Well, because I feel
So
like
frustrating.
it's such a humbling moment when you think you're like good at texting or like good at typing on your phone, like it's quick when easy to get out. But then like as soon as you put it into all caps and there's no autocorrect anymore, you're screwed. Like just type like a normal sentence in your phone. Like just type your first thought in your head, just type it down. But in all caps, you will see just how horrible your typing actually is. It was
You have those friends where you have to like decipher what they were actually texting.
Oh my God, yes.
My wife and her friend are like that, and I'm like,
It's a foreign language within my own friend group. That's exactly what it is.
That's great.
Alrighty.
All right, my turn? All right,
yes.
check this out. Would you rather only be able to whisper or always sound like you're projecting?
I feel like I'm already always projecting. You know what I mean?
We kind of just talked about. Well, there's some professors that are like that, right?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, only whisper or sound like I'm always projecting. I feel like everybody always tells me I'm projecting. I don't know why. I don't know how. But I apparently am common to just like announce things.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd probably agree. I'd rather have people be like, hey, tone it down, rather than lean in like, what?
Yeah.
Because you have to keep repeating yourself.
Because after the third what, I'm not listening to you anymore.
It doesn't matter. It wasn't important.
I'm just going to take my best guess here.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was our first piss up. We got, I think, two more later down the line. But before we get there, we'll go into explain accounting in a simple terms. So what does an accountant actually do?
I'm teaching accounting now, and this is kind of cool too. I've taken some feedback from other students that I've had, and they're like, hey, why do you teach accounting this way? And I'm like, I don't know. That's how I learned, and that's made sense. And he's like, well, why don't you just do this and hand out invoices? So I started to do that in Accounting 1. I just did it yesterday. I just handed them an invoice. I said, okay, you're running this company. What would you do with that? So before I hand that out, I usually tell them accounting just anything that happens in a business has to be recorded. Like we have to show that this happened. That's what accounting is. So there's not a lot of math. There's not a lot of complex formulas, really. Now, you can get that, but basically it's just saying this and this happened. We have to record it. That's all.
Yeah.
And we're putting essentially the money and the values just in the right bucket. So it's almost, accounting's more of organizing what happened in the business.
Well, and I like how you mentioned math, because one of the questions we have here is, if someone hates math, can they still find some way to succeed in accounting?
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm horrible at math.
Right. Yeah. And you still passed.
I did, in fact, pass the class.
That's all that matters.
I did.
We won't say, like, I mean, what'd you get?
I got a C.
Oh, that's pretty good.
I got a C.
Nice.
I'm very proud of myself, may I say.
That is impressive.
I am not good at math. I am not good at just, like, for me, accounting, the hard part was understanding the purpose.
Yeah.
Like, why am I doing this right now? Like, because, you have to put things in certain boxes, organize, do certain sheets at certain times.
Yeah, it's very tedious.
But which was fine. Like the thing that got me was doing the actual work wasn't that bad. But the part that always screwed me up was, like, sitting there, what's the actual purpose of this? Because I couldn't see the difference between, like, this part of the sheet and this part of the sheet. I don't remember what exactly it was, but it felt like I was just writing the same numbers down 4 different times throughout the assignment. So yeah, the actual math wasn't the hard part, but just understanding, why am I doing this?
That's a good point. I think that's with anything, not just accounting. Like, if you don't understand why we have to do this, you're going to get a half-hearted effort, just in anything. So even if you don't want to tell somebody the full purpose, you got to give them kind of like a glimpse of, like, why are we doing this? And then they have a little bit more buy-in as far as, okay, when I do this, or if I screw this up, it's going to screw this up down the road, type of deal. Right.
Yeah. And once that clicked for me, once I realized, oh, that is why I'm doing this, then I was like, oh, okay, then reasonably thinking, I can answer this. I can answer this. Because I know with the bank reconciliation unit area, that was what was kind of very confusing for me, because I was thinking more in, like, a modern times, like, why is there such a disconnect between my earnings and or like what I have and what the bank has, if it takes 1 hour for the bank to register what a check that I put in or something.
It's not as prevalent now as it was when we're handwriting checks.
Right. Well, but then I started thinking about it from the mindset of when it used to be super useful, where it's like it takes a long time for your money to get mailed to the bank, and vice versa. So
or just think of, like, a corporation that has thousands of transactions and thousands of checks, and we still ran checks, where I worked. So there is a delay, or an issue could come up where, like, one time we forgot to sign all of our checks. We didn't do it on purpose, but all these vendors and suppliers we owe checks to, we're supposed to stamp it with our president's name because he was out, and we sealed all, like, I don't know, a couple hundred of them, and then we're like, we did not put the signature on there. So there's a big delay and discrepancy with everything, with our bank, with all of our vendors' banks. So yeah, things do come up, but again, it's understanding a why really helps at least get a little bit more buy-in.
Well, and also just understanding what your money is doing. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like even if you're not into accounting, it's important in just finance or just any business that you're doing. Yeah. So, I mean, with that said, like, why is accounting important for people who don't even go into, like, finance or accounting or like understanding the principle, like just the basics of accounting? Why is that still important for someone who has no relationship?
Whatever industry you get into. So I've worked, in nonprofit, higher education, managerial, cost, and financial accounting. Everyone needs an accountant in one way or another. True. You need to know how to do your taxes. True. Or at the very least, even talking to like any tech student that comes over, a lot of them want to run their own shop. How are you going to do that if you don't know the accounting? True. Or sure, you can ask Chat. Chat's not right all the time. You could ask, you can get QuickBooks or some sort of software program, but you still have to know how to use it and set it up.
Because I mean, I know there's a bunch of online services and companies out there that will like do taxes for you or be your little online digital accountant for your things. But I think it's kind of pointless if you don't even know the basis of what they are doing.
And that's honestly how so much fraud happens. And
really?
Because there's this trust level where I'm running my company, I'm doing great, or you're working for a company, it doesn't matter, and you trust this one person to do it. And eventually, I mean, they're going to be smart. They realize, this person doesn't know what they're doing. Like, I can easily just,
I can just
for years and years and years, just start embezzling some money, and before I know it, it turns into millions of dollars. And we cover that in a lot of our fraud classes, it's that window of opportunity where you're relying on somebody because you don't know how to do it. That's a recipe for disaster. Not all the time, but given the opportunity, if I'm short on cash and I got bills to pay, I've got a family to feed, I'm like, this person doesn't know what I'm doing. Yeah.
Interesting.
Easy.
Interesting.
And there's ways where you can look at like a lot of sports stars that lose their money. You can, hey, I trust this financial manager. This dude's going to take care of me. All of a sudden, they're like, this guy's an idiot.
Or it's the opposite where they don't do either of them and they think they're good with their money on their own.
We got enough coming in. We don't need to worry about it.
I'll be fine. I don't need an accountant.
Yep.
Right. And I think like the first thing that I thought of when you said that was the story that I've seen so many times on Shaquille O'Neal when he was first signed. The first thing he did, he spent $1 million in 30 minutes. Bought his dad a Rolls, himself a Rolls, and his mom a Rolls. But then his manager or like one of the banks was like, dude, you're going to be bankrupt in like a year. Like you are not going to be a successful NBA player if you keep doing this. And then they actually sat down and got all that figured out.
Yeah.
And then Shaq is who he is today.
Shaq Daddy knows what he's doing.
He knows what he's doing.
Fun fact, one of my favorite NBA players all time, Shaq.
I don't know anything about basketball. I'm going to be honest. I don't. It's entertaining to watch. I mean, I like it.
Put the ball in the hoop.
I don't understand. Well, I just don't understand it. I love watching it. I love seeing my friends go crazy for it. I know March Madness just ended. Who won that, by the way?
I honestly don't remember. Oh, that team up north. That's disgusting.
I don't know who won it. Do you know?
We don't even talk about it.
You don't know who won it? No, I don't know. I don't follow basketball. Anyway, so jumping back into it. So we'll talk about like what are the top performing students? Like what is, because for most degrees, most professors can say that there's the students who not only graduate but graduate and like jump straight into a career that they love, the hardworking ones, and then the ones who just kind of are here for the paper, right? So in accounting specifically, is that noticeable? Like can you Definitely. See? So what is the biggest differentiating factor?
I don't know what the underlying cause is, but typically it's motivation.
Okay.
We had open house just the other day, and I had a lot of parents ask like, what's the employment rate? And I'll say the same thing that the other professors say. If you want a job, you'll have a job when you graduate. It's in your the ball's in your court. Go back to basketball here, right? It's up to you. What you put in is what you get out. So we do talk, surprisingly, professors do talk about students behind their backs.
What?
In a good way, though.
What?
We're like, hey, what's going on with this dude or this girl that's not showing up? Or that's another thing I like about UNOH is that we do it because we care. Because we need to know, do we need to reach out? Do we need to do a retention alert? Or, hey, they're just senioritis. They just need a little kick in the butt. That's all.
Sure.
I do a lot of that with some of the coaches. Like, give me the story on this person. Do they need guided? Do they need kicked in the butt? What's crazy is we do have that echelon. So me, Fuller, and Priest will kind of talk, and we all kind of know when we get jobs coming to us, and we get them all the time. Like, all right, what students do we want to share this job with?
Sure.
Because that's a UNOH product. That's us. Like that's a reflection of our work as well. And there are some, I want to say, middle of the pack. There's ones that like, boy, we hope they kick it up here before senior year. And then there's other ones. I've had freshmen that come in with internships already.
Yeah.
I'm like,
well, I think
cool, didn't do that until like my second semester of senior year.
Well, I think internships is really cool because a lot of companies come to UNOH say, do you have any students that would be good at this and this?
Yeah.
But if you're the motivated ones and you stand out and your teachers know that, then you're the first one to get a spot on that internship.
Yeah.
Or at least an opportunity.
Like, go to class, talk to your professors.
Go to class.
Because I've had one where I had a friend text me from the city of Lima, and one of my students had applied. And I'm like, hey, what do you know about this person? I'm like, oh, yeah, hard worker, because this person was a hard worker. I'm like, dude was late to class all the time, skipped class a lot, had to get extensions on due dates. I'm like, how do I word this? Because I know did it because he was busy, working a full-time job, coming to class full-time too. But I knew he was smart, so I just tried to focus on the positives. And they loved him too. And I need to follow up to see if he got the job. But it's hard for us to be references if you're not putting in the work too, because all we get to go off is what we see in the classroom for 2 to 4 years. So if you're putting in the work, you're showing up, you're talking, then absolutely we're going to be a reference for you, and you're going to get those higher echelon jobs. And not that you wouldn't on your own, but when we get them, we're kind of filtering them out and be like, okay, here's our top performers. We want to send them to these types of jobs.
And when you say types of jobs, well, what specifically kinds of jobs do accounting degrees get? Because I know at the end here we noted that, as you said, oh God, where is it? Most graduates make more than me.
Oh yeah.
So can you go into a little bit about that?
And I like that. That's the whole goal. It's not a knock on what we get paid here. It's fine. It's great. But most of us probably took pay cuts to come teach because we love to do it.
Sure.
It's a passion. It's a calling. It's a career. Most of the students, even around here, they're going to be making a little less to more than what I'll be making like right now. And they can go anywhere. That's a great thing. So, I'm working on potentially one like with the city, with the government. There's a lot of small CPA firms, but then there's regional CPA firms as well. Plant Moran, GBQ, Ray's in Lima here. All three of those are top 15 in the Great Lakes area as far as CPA firms. Plant Moran's number one. We have graduates there.
And you said everybody needs an accountant. So if you're good at it, then you can go to almost anybody. Yeah,
and you can go to private companies. I mean, that's what I did. I enjoyed working for just a company because then you get to do a whole lot more. You get to see the picture, the full picture, not just the accounting side. Typically, you'll get some other projects thrown on you. And you get to interact with more people, which I'm a people person. So
more connections.
Yeah, sitting in an office with the door closed is kind of foreign to me.
Yeah.
So I want to get out and talk. And we have actually had some students. One of them is working with Tuttle Construction right now, and she got it through being a part of the young professionals that were. So myself and a couple professors here with the Lima Area Chamber of Commerce young professionals, so under 40-ish and working around here. And we had some students kind of join, and they were sponsored by those employers. That's how she ended up getting a job. Had another one that got an internship just through that as well. So we're trying to make connections ourselves, essentially for our students. And then they kind of open their eyes, like, I can quite literally go anywhere. And accounting is a very universal language. So
a universal foreign one.
Yeah.
As you said. Yes. We're going to take a quick stop. We'll take another pit stop. This is where we would normally whip out the box again, talk about some hot seat questions. So get your take on a very interesting, unique topic. But I wanted to do something a little different. Because what I have down here is a little bit ago, we received a lot of reviews on our Out podcast. So please keep them coming. We love to hear what you guys think. But one of the things that we said in one of our past episodes was how jobs are going to be changing in the coming years due to AI and due to chat, right?
Oh, yeah.
And accounting was one of the things that it was discussed. Was obviously accounting is not going anywhere. Everyone needs an accountant, right? But I think AI is definitely going to play its role in some sort of way in accounting. So can you give your take on your opinions on AI and on accounting just in general?
Yeah, it's going to be, I think in a lot of cases, most cases, it'll be used as a tool, not as a replacement. Now, it should replace some menial, tedious, gritty detail work. Absolutely. Like sift through data. Yeah, do that. So I don't have to waste my time doing it. Or so my employer doesn't have to pay me $35 an hour to comb through all this data. That's where the big perk's going to be, because then that's going to free up time for me as an accountant to do more analytical things as well. Or
that a human needs to do.
Yeah, to pinpoint. I can remember working, and there were so many back burner projects. Like, man, we want to do that. We want to do that. I remember, starting at a place, and it was like, well, we want to do these things, kind of side projects. Yeah, they were still there when I left, several years later, because we never had time to do them. So I think that's where AI is going to kind of step in to free up time for us to do all these side projects that we want. So it is going to change the landscape. I think knowing how to use it is going to be really important.
Sure.
I tell students to use it like all the time during class.
Okay.
Really not typically for accounting, because it's still not quite there, but it might help explain a topic better than I do, as long as it's accurate, So, I tell students, like I said before, go to different sources. You can use chat and AI to, I had one student, we were in cost accounting, and she's like, actually, I started using chat to say, explain this concept to me like I'm a 10-year-old.
That's exactly what I did. There were certain things that I didn't understand, and how my class was kind of structured was we had a test one morning, but the night before was when there was like this homework assignment due, where it was obviously everything that we were going to be tested on the next day. So obviously I couldn't use chat to just say, give me these answers, because I would pass the assignment, but then I would fail the test because I don't know what I'm doing. So I would say like, dumb this down, use the simplest of baby terms that you can think of, and help me understand this the most that I can.
Yeah.
And then that helped me a lot understand the why, as we mentioned earlier.
We're like, hey, give me some examples
to
actually apply this. and that's the same way. You can use it to write a paper. Sure. But if somebody asks you like, hey, what's this word mean? You're like, I don't know. Well, it's in your paper. How'd you write about it? Yeah. Right. Same with your resume or any presentation that you do. You can use it, sure, to make it look great and everything, but you better know what you're talking about when you're in front of the people. Otherwise, you're going to look like an idiot. So it's using it as a tool to hopefully, we got to learn and teach students how to make you a better individual, better professional. That's what it's about.
The key word is tool. Right? Because it is the tool to help you do the tedious little things that you don't want to do.
Yep.
Right? Not only that you don't want to do, but that would just be such a waste of time to sit there and do it yourself.
Exactly, yeah. You're trying to maximize your time. I mean, that's what it's all about, efficiency, and that's the way to do it. I mean, heck, you could even ask it like, what would be some internships or good jobs for an entry-level accountant in Northwest Ohio? Like,
I'm sure why don't you see what examples.
It might pull up companies you were not even thinking about looking at. It's like, oh shoot, yeah, I could probably look at that. Why not?
Yeah. Well, I appreciate giving your opinions on it, because I know it's a very divided opinion, because I know some teachers are all for it and saying like obviously don't use it for answers, but use it when you need to for tools. And then I know I've other teachers that are like zero.
Yeah.
So
don't touch it. Don't look at it.
Right. So I appreciate your opinion. But yeah, so we'll get back into it. So this is more about once you have a job. So as you said, UNOH's job is just to get you out there, and the students that care enough to get a job are the ones who are going to end up getting a job.
Right.
Because as we mentioned, if you make yourself known, then you're the first one to be referenced for teachers.
Yeah.
Right. So the next question is what does a starting salary typically look like for graduates in certain positions?
That's a tough one, because it really, it depends on if you're around here or going to Columbus. You're going to get more in Columbus. But, as students have learned, it costs a lot more to live in Columbus.
Right.
I had students down there, I think they were getting like $22 an hour for an internship.
Okay.
Like, that's awesome.
It's a paid internship.
You know how long it took me to get to $22 an hour? But then that also makes me feel old. The salaries are just kind of all over the place, and depending on if you're going to a CPA firm, private company, and how much that company wants to pay. So, I mean, you could look from 45 to 65 to 70 coming out. I know of one that was working on, and that would be between 60 and 70. That I was working on finding students for. So, and again, that's entry level. You have no idea what's going to happen, a year into that, 90 days into that.
Sure.
So and again, if it depends on a lot of where you go. You go to a nonprofit, you're going to get a lot less probably. But it's trying to go where you want to go, get comfortable. I tell students to even don't focus on just the salary. Look at also obviously the benefits and what you get as far as insurance, days off.
Right.
Life balance is huge. Maybe not quite out of college, but for me, life balance is huge. That's why I'm here. It's awesome. But I always tell students, even if you get a job, you don't like it, maybe you think you can go somewhere and get paid more money, don't just leave. Like my rule of thumb is stay for at least a year. Try to stay in that position for a year, because a couple of things are going to happen through that year of struggle, I guess. You're either going to continue to hate that job, which is fine, but you're going to leave and you have something you can put on your resume. Or you're going to stay at that job and all of a sudden you're going to start liking it a little more. Because it's, there's so much new stuff with a new job. Just stay in it. And you're going to end up, you might realize, wow, I actually do like this. Or you might be given more responsibilities that you actually enjoy doing that you wouldn't have gotten had you left. So you stay the year. You're going to learn a lot. and you can always leave, but I'd say at least stay a year, because then you're showing that future employer, hey, I stuck it out.
No, but it's also really good connections. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And it looks better on the resume. Because, I mean, was it work experience? Yes. But if your resume says you worked there for 5 months, then I would imagine an employer would kind of look over that spot on your resume.
I mean, that's honestly, looking at resumes, not just here, but at other places, it's kind of, that's one of the things we focus on. I can see your list of places you worked, but I typically go straight to the dates. Like, how long were you actually there? If it was a couple months here, 6 months here, 9 months here, I'm like, well, then you're probably going to leave here too.
You're wasting my time.
Because you're going to find something you don't like, and you'll find something you don't like wherever you go.
Right.
But push through that, and that's going to make it a lot better for your life.
Yeah. And I would imagine resume help, right?
Yeah.
I think UNOH does a great job at that. I know we have a lot of career services, I guess, I don't know, like help or like advice, where you can go and help get your resume built. And I think that's also another way that UNOH kind of stands out in a way.
Yeah.
Because as you mentioned, they truly care about their students. And I think me, Emily, like we've all seen it firsthand.
Good.
Where
that's the point.
I especially have seen it firsthand where they want to get you into an internship, and it makes them happy seeing that you're leaving.
And it's
in a way.
Yeah, it's finding where you want to be. Like if I have a student that doesn't like accounting, I'm going to help you figure out what you like to do and what you actually want to do.
Right.
Just last week we had 3 days of resume building workshops for people to prep for the career fair, and pushing students over there. Like, who cares if they're techie, if they're I don't know, working for tools or a car dealership or anything like that. They all need accountants, marketing, business personnel, managers. So go there, introduce yourself as what your major is, and say, hey, you got any openings? I remember one of the first students I had was at the career fair. He was getting ready to leave, and I saw him, and I knew he was kind of looking around, knew where he lived. I said, go check out that tire company. And I knew them because they're kind of like a sister company from where I used to work. And he ended up getting that job, and he's still there. He's been there for like, I don't know, 6 years now.
Wow.
I just ran into him, I don't know, a few months ago. Still loving it, everything. And it's like, had he not been there, and had I not saw them and pushed him, go over and talk to them, because most accountants would have just walked right by him. Because, it's a tire company. Tire companies need accountants
also
too.
Also need accountants.
That's where I came from. So
and I think that's also a great thing when it comes to the career fairs, because I know I went to one of them, and it was I feel like it was more for the tech side. I saw like the CAT construction company was there. I saw some fertilizer companies and tractor companies, and it was more on the tech side of things. But then again, I had to think about it from like a business mindset, where all those companies, they still need marketers, they still need accountants,
exactly,
they still need salespeople.
Yep.
So even though the company is tires, for example, they still need those little people like accountants and marketers, salesmen. To give those.
That's what we got to kind of like rewire our brains to realize it's still a functioning organization that needs all of those positions filled. Otherwise, they would not exist. So
they would crash. Right.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And so what makes the accounting and business side of UNOH stand out from other notable universities?
We're pretty rigorous, especially in the accounting department. We've got several more classes that are focused on accounting than other universities. There's kind of, I don't know, more gen eds, especially if you look at a liberal arts college. Think about what your tuition dollars are going towards. You come to UNOH and you're studying accounting, more of your dollars are going towards studying accounting.
So it's the biggest bang for your buck.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So we can have a lot of standalone classes that drill down into payroll or cost or managerial or auditing or forensic, anything like that, taxes and things like that. So we can kind of have a crash course of, here's 10 weeks, we're going to get into the nitty-gritty details of this specific area of accounting. And that really, I think, sets our program apart from other ones.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a great answer.
Cool.
I really couldn't have said it better myself. Anyway, we have our last pit stop of the episode. Last one. This one is future predictions. All right. Once again, I will ask you one, and then you can ask me one. A way people will relax that will replace doom scrolling.
And will we ever replace doom scrolling?
Unfortunately, I don't think so. Unfortunately. A new way of relaxation other than doom scrolling.
I don't know, something with probably like Meta glasses or something where
Yeah,
you're
like
still kind of
VR.
doom scrolling, but it's just you're staring at stuff, so it looks like I'm looking at you, but really I'm just watching a movie.
But you're watching TikTok over here.
That'll be all the students here. Yes, that's my
Yes.
prediction.
That's
Everyone's
your
just gonna be
prediction.
right there and
Looking at
just
you.
staring. I'll ask questions, nobody answers. Like, what the heck? Yeah, that's what's gonna
That's
be.
a good answer. I don't even know.
So
what
kind of
I don't
still
know.
similar to doom scrolling.
I really don't know if doom scrolling is gonna go anywhere. Not anytime soon, at least.
No, it's like
There's got to be I think in order for doom scrolling to be gone, there has to be something much worse in its place. Much worse.
yeah,
for
I
our
don't think it's
attention
gonna get
span.
better. It's gonna be like worse. Yeah.
So something will come up or be created that is much worse for our attention span than doom scrolling, and that is why doom scrolling will stop. Anyway,
Well, that's depressing.
that is depressing.
I totally agree, though. A trend that'll feel embarrassing later.
Everything. I feel like everything, like if you look back like 2016,
Yeah.
think about all the trends that we did in 2016. Like we look back at that now, we are like disgusted at ourselves.
Did you ever plank? Either of you? Did you do planking? You guys don't even know what planking is?
Well, I didn't have social media
man.
until my sophomore year of high school. No Snapchat, no Instagram, no TikTok until like my sophomore year of high school.
Yeah. Planking, or you just like lay down flat in random places, start doing it. So like in the middle of the hallway, you would just lay down flat like a wood plank.
I
You
didn't
do
know
it on
that.
desks and chairs. Okay, good. I mean, I'm not saying I ever did, but
I remember the
that's
mannequin
embarrassing.
challenge. I remember that. She knows
What was
that.
that where you just stood still?
Well, yeah.
I'm assuming.
Where it was like a crowded room of people would
okay.
stand still. And it'd be like the pause challenge. Remember the pause challenge? Like a TV remote, boop, and then you have to freeze. But stuff like that. No. But yeah, I think everything, honestly. I think like common trends for us now. I mean, maybe even doom scrolling. Like maybe in like 13, 15 years, something like that, we'll look back and be like, oh my God.
Crocs. Will Crocs be
They better
embarrassing?
be.
Yeah.
They better be.
So popular.
I love Crocs. I have two. I love them.
I've never worn them in my life, but I feel like that might
Really?
be. Yeah.
The ultimate weekend lazy comfortable shoes.
How are they comfortable though?
I don't know. I don't know.
Even
They
when I
just
put
are.
like slides on, I'm like, man, my feet are sweaty. They're sticky. Like, no, this is not
No,
comfortable.
Crocs got the holes in them that can breathe.
I don't
It's not
know.
sweaty. Yeah.
I think
Crocs.
that might be embarrassing.
You think?
Maybe.
Well, because I know Crocs came in waves. Like when it first came out, everyone bought it, and they were like, "Oh, that's weird," and then they stopped buying it, and then recently it's come back in the past couple of
And
years.
they can tweak them. Now they put like nice fluffy
There's
fur
charms on
inside
them.
of them.
There are,
Yeah, all the little
there's charms and there's like fluff versions. So maybe in like 5-8 years we'll think it's
How
weird
about
again.
like stickers on water bottles? That will probably be done at some point.
You think that's
right?
weird?
I think eventually it will be.
At one point it will be considered weird.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, see, it'll be weird because there will be doom scrolling on the bottle.
That's true.
Think about it.
It will be everywhere.
There will be doom scrolling on the wall. Each one of these tiles will be a doom scroll that I go past
That's fair.
Yes.
That's probably going to happen. Get ready for
at
it.
some point in time. All right. Anyway, I'll get you out of here. We'll just the closing conversations. So one of the things that this podcast is all for is answering common parent questions or questions that incoming freshmen have. So we just got done with an open house. So when you are at these open houses, is there a common set of questions that you're asked or certain question marks that you tend to answer?
Class sizes. That's typically one of them.
Okay.
Small. Pretty much one-on-one. You know, our accounting, the largest class you're going to have in accounting will be accounting 1 because that's everybody's taking it. And it's
Sure.
going to be capped at 28 to 30.
My answer to that question is always just high school size.
Yeah.
It's just high school
Unless you went to a
size.
huge high school.
Unless you went to, I went to just a normal
Yeah.
public school in Missouri.
That's why I love it
So-
too, because we're here to teach. So you're going to interact with us, not a
Mm-hmm.
teaching assistant. You're not going to be able to slip through the cracks. Our freshman class is like 15 to 17 right now of accounting majors.
Sure.
And then they can branch off between associate, bachelor's, CPA track, or forensic. And then those classes get even smaller.
That's also why one of the factors why I chose UNOH is because if I went to a college with these gigantic lecture halls, I'm not going to learn anything. I'm not.
You might as well be in an online class because you're going to have to
Exactly.
hold yourself accountable.
Exactly.
not
I would
the
rather
teacher,
be. I
yeah.
would rather be in an all online class doing
Yeah.
an all online degree back home making money at
Yep.
like a part time job instead of wasting my time in a lecture that I'm not going to retain anything from.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that it is like as you said, maybe 20 to 30 max in the room, then
Yeah.
it's more direct education.
Yeah. Speaking of online, that's another question. A lot of them ask, like, what type of computer should I get? I literally pretty much don't know.
Are there certain like software tools? I know like Excel or something like that.
For accounting, I typically say maybe stay clear of MacBooks and Chromebooks, the two most popular ones.
Sure.
But just because if that's kind of, if you're in the accounting mode, HP, Dell, Asus, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, or just, again, get on chat and ask it. Tell it what you're going to be using it for, and it's going to give you the top 5 brands or so. So.
Well, and their specs and what they're useful for.
Yeah, exactly.
Because like if you say, I want to do accounting, I want the computer to be capable of doing this task, and then it will give you, here are the cheapest options that tick the boxes.
I want to have 20 tabs open. I feel like anytime I look at a student's laptop to help them, I'm like, oh my gosh.
There's normally a lot.
What are you doing?
There's normally a lot, yes.
I freak out. I mean, I'll have a handful. But once they start getting shrinking those tabs, I'm like, okay, what am I doing here? I don't need all of these open. Like I don't know how to get back to that website.
Right. You have to like scan through. That's when you got too much.
Yeah.
So are there any other questions that are commonly asked?
The jobs, and we kind of covered that. Like what can they get? And it's anything really. And then the class size, computers, those are the big ones.
Sure.
And then it's just online or in person. What should they do? I tell students to take it in person as much as possible. I believe online is the exception, where you have to be self-motivated. You're going to learn a lot on your own. But again, it's very convenient. So I think we have a good team here in the Advising Resource Center that kind of help, like, hey, this class is a little tougher online, because they listen to students, they hear students chatter. So I kind of like that, having that resource too. But if students are online, it's still fine. They can still come to us any point in time. And a lot of times we're the ones teaching the online classes too. So it should be pretty congruent with what's happening in person with what's online.
Sure. Yeah. So once again, thank you very much.
Awesome.
For your
Thank
time
you for having me.
Here. Is there anything else that you would like to note? Are there any topics that we didn't discuss today?
Accounting's awesome. Y'all should join it. You'll get a job.
You will get a job.
I pick typically one student a year to give a Dundee Award to. If you ever watch The Office, he hands out Dundies. I call them Waggies because I'm Professor Wagner.
Okay.
And I'll just pick random
didn't
reasons.
You have a note on that?
I think I did. I'm disappointed.
I give away a Waggy Award trophy like a Dundee from The Office at graduation.
The inaugural winner was Owen, who got that job, but he did a presentation similar to how Kevin did on The Office. He ran around the conference room, played Crazy Train by Ozzy Osbourne.
Okay.
For his presentation, I just gave him, I literally had the grade sheet and I just put A right on it. So I gave him I gave him an award for best presentation. So I'll just find random reasons or things that stuck out through the last 4 years, like a random conversation or something that this person was notorious for, and I'll just get him a little award. They get a trophy. I hand it to him outside of the Civic Center after graduation. So
that's hilarious.
I love it. I wish we could like put it on stage and have it be part of the ceremony, but
that would be funny. That'd be something. All right. Anyway, thank you very much for your time.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course, man. And if there's nothing else to say, then
I think we're good.
Yeah.
Calculator.
Okay. What'd you say?
I said calculator.
Calculator. See you guys.
See you.